You've just tuned into the SNES composer that never was. I'm Kitarraman, and this is Season 2 of Ugly Babies, Episode 3. Once the tavern theme was done, and we'd finally cracked how to do adaptive music in Godot, I moved on to battle music, easily the most significant challenge ahead. I was asked to write in the style of Nobuo Uematsu, a composer I wasn't exactly familiar with. Now, before you grab your pitchfork and torch and mob against me, let me explain why. I've always been more into games with a hands-on approach, so turn-based RPGs weren't exactly my top pick growing up. I only started getting into them recently, thanks to the first Witcher game, though I still prefer titles where the player has more agency and less cooldown babysitting. However, despite this minor setback, I had the massive ace up my sleeve. You remember Chipsynth SFC? I already mentioned it in my breakdowns of the H soundtrack. It's a VST developed by Ploak that emulates the Super Famicom's audio chip, the SFC, known in the West as SNES. One of its features is to play SNES soundtracks, and I spent days listening to Final Fantasy IV through 6. Then I went back and dissected the pieces that really struck a chord, to understand from the inside what Maestro Uematsu's style is all about. Coincidentally enough, my brother had started playing Final Fantasy XIII, and since my studio was in the same room as our PlayStations, that probably influenced my writing a bit. I actually thought the first track captured the old Final Fantasy spirit pretty well. The studio didn't, so I started over. The next draft, it was still in its infancy when I shared a sample with the team and got the axe. And they were right, it sounds like crap. There, I said it. At this point, I thought I cracked the code, I could see the finish line. With this rework, I felt like I was finally starting to lock and load on Maestro Uematsu's style. It had a solid pacing for a battle theme, was melodic enough to stick with you, and I was starting to understand how Maestro Uematsu's used the SNES limitations to his advantage. In this track, you can also spot the influences I got by listening to Final Fantasy XIII's Blinded by Light. I like how the track counters the brooding mood of the first section with the second section's more uplifting vibe. So, I tried to match that in my work. Despite my enthusiasm, the team wasn't convinced by the uplifting section and asked me to keep it brooding. What you're about to hear is what finally got okayed. Too bad. I still think the previous draft sounded more cohesive. And this concludes episode 3 of Ugly Babies Season 2. Don't go anywhere, things are about to get ugly. I'm Kitarraman, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.